Welcome to Frequency Mastery. My name is Boris Kerjner, and I'm excited to share with you today the most concise, precise, and comprehensive frequency technology guide that will help you in the most simple and direct way to choose your frequency technology when you're making this big investment into your health, into your well-being, and into your self-actualization. Let's dive into the core of choosing your frequency technology. And I'm going to give you a very simple two-step filter. And through just these two lenses, you're going to be able to assess everything that's out on the market, every form of technology, whether it be Qi Coils or Rife machines or certain PEMF devices. You'll be able to filter them and know exactly if they are the technology for you or not. I want to offer you the simplest two-step process. It just involves asking two questions about the technology to determine if it is actually going to make a difference for you in your specific goal or concern. So the first of these questions is one that many people do ask, but as we'll find out in step 2, that it's not quite enough. So the first question that most people ask, and that I would recommend for you to ask about any system that you're considering, is, does this system have the frequencies that are relevant for my specific goal, problem, illness, or outcome? For example, there is a product on the market called Earth Pulse, and it has a very narrow focus where it primarily is designed to support sleep. Now, if your goal instead of sleep is self-actualization, it's your cardiovascular health, it is that you want to lose weight, of course, having good sleep will help you in all of these. But this is not the direct technology, and there are no specific frequencies here for the outcomes that you are wishing to facilitate for yourself. So the second thing then about actually the frequencies that we need to understand is that frequencies determine where the energy is directed. Whatever device you have, that device is emitting some form of energy. It could be pulsed electromagnetic fields, it could be radio frequencies, it could be laser, it could be light, LED light, it could be tactile vibrations. So there's many different mediums through which this frequency is emitted or broadcast. But the frequency could be the same throughout all of these. And so what is the frequency doing? The frequency is determining where that energy broadcast, where that emission of energy that the technology is generating, where is it directed to? Where exactly is it going to have its effect, right? So if we take a look as an example on the Rife frequency library, so the principle that is behind this application of what's called Rife approach to health and well-being and healing is the principle of natural resonance. For example, have you ever seen an opera singer sing to a crystal glass? I don't have a crystal glass here, but I have my wine glass with water. But if you really pay attention, before the opera singer would sing to the glass to shatter it, it will always, he or she will always first ding it. It could be with a fingernail, it could be with another object that they have, but as you can see, there's a natural resonance. This glass is making that particular resonance when it is struck. And then what the opera singer would proceed to do is to match that with their voice. And based on the match in the resonance, an energy transfer happens. It's very similar to radio, but the energy transfer is now affecting the glass, and the glass begins to shake, and the molecules in it begin to vibrate because more energy is being added. And in this case, they become so excited that they let go, and we see the glass shattering. So this is a destructive application of frequencies that could be very useful in the cases of working, let's say, with certain invading microorganisms, bacterial infections, viral infections, yeast, mold, fungus, whatever it is that is, and including even cancer. The cells that are in resonance with this, be it the external cells or the internal cells that are affected in a particular way, these cells then come under the influence of this particular frequency and thereby are either inhibited in their growth, interfered with, or deterred. In essence, what frequency technology at this level can do is to create an environment within the body that is no longer hospitable to these invading forces. Let's say like this. Now, this is just one level of frequency. For example, in Qi Life, there are multiple levels. We have the Rife technology, then the quantum, then the higher quantum, then the advanced practitioner, and then beyond that, the inner circle and ultimate abundance collection. So you could see that actually there's a plethora of different types of frequencies. So coming back to the question, what is your specific desire in approaching frequency technology? Determine this and then ask the question, well, does this system that I'm considering, does it have the frequencies for these particular concerns now that I've listed out, these goals and these concerns that I want to make a difference in? Okay, so that was question number one. But most people stop here and they stop a little bit short of a true evaluation of a system. Because if somebody answers you, yes, we do have frequencies for anxiety, for sleep, for arthritis. Wonderful, you might say, right? And let's move on. Then this is the system for me. But hold on a moment. It's really important that you also ask the second question. And the second question has to do with the output capacity of the device. In simpler terms, the power of the device, the power with which that particular system is able to project the frequency or frequency field. So when we ask about the power, in other words, we are really asking about dosage. When we consider any frequency, that frequency, let's say it be a frequency for arthritic pain, right? That frequency can be played at a microdose level, just like music can be played at such a small volume that you can barely hear it, right? In the very same way, a frequency that is designed for addressing some part of your well-being, let's say, for example, in this case, the arthritic pain, now that frequency is also going to be delivered either in a microdose or a megadose or anywhere in between. So it's very important that we ask this question: does this system have enough output capacity and can deliver enough dosage to make a difference for my specific concern? Okay, so these two questions, right? What frequencies are part of the system and what is the output capacity? So let's dive a little bit deeper into that second question because, well, how do you know? Do you need a microdose or a megadose application of a particular frequency? Here's how you determine this. The microdose level of application, what is that good for? Is that just an inferior kind of device or system that is offering microdose versus megadose? Absolutely not. The microdose devices, these systems are designed for the more subtle levels of our well-being. So this would be things like mood regulation, stress regulation, meditation, concentration, sleep, having more energy and more wakefulness, or helping to facilitate relaxation and ease, right? Primarily, all those things that relate to brainwave activity, these things will respond very well and very readily to even a microdose level of stimulation. But if, on the other hand, what we're trying to make a difference in is chronic, degenerative, and severe conditions that have been around in the body for a while and that perhaps are even life-threatening, at this point, if we choose to use frequency technology, especially as our primary modality, meaning that it's not like we are pursuing some kind of, let's say, Western medical approach and we're just using the frequency technology to help us to relax and ease our stress. If that's the case, microdose products could still be a good fit. But If, on the other hand, you are looking at frequency technology as your primary modality, perhaps complemented with nutrition, exercise, certain supplementation, etc. But if we're looking at frequency technology as a primary modality and we're dealing with a chronic condition, especially physiological condition in our body versus a mental or emotional concern, here is where those higher dose products, higher dose systems, perhaps even megadose systems, are going to make a very significant difference. What kind of difference? Let's really also break this down. What do we mean when we're talking about dosage? I'd like you to consider the idea of everything else in life that you consume. Let's say a supplement or a medicine, a drug, right? Or even a recreational substance like alcohol, or even the exposure to sunlight. All of these are very dose dependent. And because they are dose dependent, it is going to make a huge difference whether you take a microdose, let's say, of something like a painkiller or something like a glass of wine, but you're taking just a tiny sip, a microdose. Well, consider how much of a difference that is versus taking a megadose or even somewhat of a larger dose. All the substances that we're exposed to in life, including frequencies like the sun, are very dose dependent. And because they are dose dependent, our experience can differ greatly whether we take a small dose or have a large dose of that particular substance or frequency. So now, coming back to the idea of working with frequency technology to make a difference in the body, typically those conditions and concerns that have been around for a long time, that our body and even our mind has adapted around, that has really kind of, we may say, festered in the body and has kind of taken on a life of its own, if it's become also part of our identity, all of these are various anchors that keep this condition very much intact. Here is where higher dose systems are going to make much more of a difference, and you're much more likely to have a successful, clear, positive progress towards your desired goal with a higher dose system versus a microdose. Okay, so there we have it. This lays out the general framework, a very simple framework that can help you to determine, beyond any sales tactics or the fancy sales pages and beautiful videos, can help you to determine whether a specific system is actually going to make a difference for you or not. Microdose systems, by the way, are great to support also general well-being. You can run those frequencies, let's say, for joint pain, for cardiovascular wellness, for digestion. You can run those at microdose. But that's good to do if you're doing kind of like prevention, general maintenance of your well-being. But if you try to apply that same principle of microdose to a severe concern, what will happen, most likely, is that let's say that you apply it for several weeks, maybe even a month, and over those 30 days, you are left wondering, does this even work? Am I seeing something? I mean, the sessions feel nice, but do I really see a clear progress? My pain was at like a 7 or 6 out of 10. It still seems to be a 6 or a 7. So you don't want to choose a system that leaves you questioning it in this way. Because typically what happens is that then our nocebo effect kicks in, and we start to see this as a waste of our time. It doesn't work, and now we're back to where we started in the first place. So rather than all of that and wasting your time and money, it is best to choose a system that is most likely to be successful for you, and choose the very best in class that really is also a match to your budget without creating that financial stress and strain that actually then contributes to that nocebo effect, which is where our mind, our expectation blocks positive results. So, in summary, ask these two powerful questions about any frequency technology that you're considering investing your money and your time into. Number one, does this system have the frequencies that are relevant for my specific goals and concerns? And number two, Does this system have enough output capacity, power, or in other words, dosage, to make a difference on my specific goals or concerns? I hope this video has served you. I will be back again with more detailed videos helping you to review and evaluate the products that are available on the market so that you can choose a system that will be a true ally for you, perhaps even a lifetime ally in maintaining your health and well-being, but perhaps also expanding your mental and emotional capacity, and perhaps even your metaphysical and spiritual evolution. Thank you for joining me here on Frequency Mastery. My name is Boris Kerjner, and I wish you all the very best until we speak again. Take great care, and bye-bye for now.